Okay, so this is a nice 2 by 2 inch piece of basswood, and it's about 6 inches high. So first thing I'm going to do to carve these pumpkins, so again, this is going to be stacked pumpkins, and he's going to have sort of like a sheet over top, and you're going to be able to see the pumpkin down below, and his face is going to be somewhere in this area. Real easy project, great practice project. So I always like to carve into the grain, so the face in most of the carving is going to be on this side. But the first step is just making this thing sort of like torpedo shaped. So I'm going to keep doing that all the way around, flip it over to get the base. So I'm going to finish this up and then show you. I'm going to pencil in the face a little bit just to show you what that looks like. So continue. If you've got a piece just like this, just round off all these edges. You're just looking for that classic torpedo shape, nice and rounded at the top too. Okay, so it's getting that shape to it that I'm looking for, just kind of a basic torpedo shape. I've switched over to this number 3 5/8 just to kind of round this off just a little bit on the top. And of course I can always use my trusty knife. Okay, maybe a little more rounding over here just to kind of take some of these high spots down. Okay. Now this is the way the wood grain is going, so I like to carve the face on this side. So I'm just going to pencil this in. There's no wrong way to do this. So it's kind of like an oval shape. Comes together like that. And then I want to kind of impart the idea that this is a stack of pumpkins. So to do that, I'm just going to put in the base of this cape just like that. So you can see I've got like this teardrop shape at the top, rounded, comes together here, and the base is there. So the next step is to get this out. This is my number 12 gouge, and you just want to follow that line. Inside or outside, it doesn't matter. And just take that down like that. And carve out the base. So what you should have looks like this. And then the next step is just to take your knife and do a little stop cut carefully. These are kind of unique looking. I saw this design out there and I'm sort of enhancing it a little bit. The one that I saw didn't have the base carved like I'm going to carve it. So again, I'm just removing that material up to the stop cut. And I'm just working against that stop cut, taking material off. Okay. So at this stage you can see you could add feet down here if you wanted to carve them. So it's sort of a point where you might decide what you want to do with it. But I think in this case what I'm going to do is turn this base into a pumpkin. So I'm just going to round it off. Okay, and for this base, I'm just going to come in here with this knife, just like you're peeling a potato, sort of. And it's up to you how close you want to get in there. And we want this to look like a pumpkin, so just kind of continuing to round this off a little. Okay, maybe a little bit in here. Okay, so for now that's pretty good down here. I think the next step is to remove some of this material right in here around the face. So I've already done the stop cut, so I'm just getting in here like this. And ultimately, this little carving is going to have arms, and if you plan on doing a lot of these, it's not a bad idea to go to Michael's hobby store, something like that, and buy some of those unfinished grapevine wreaths, and you'll find tons of little sticks in those that you can clip out for arms. And they make good arms for snowmen and all that kind of stuff too. Of course, they'll last you forever. I think I'm still working on a wreath for snowmen and things like this. Of course, you could just walk into your yard and find a couple of little sticks that might work too. Okay, again, just kind of cleaning this guy up a little against that stop cut. Okay. Let's put that center line for the face. Now for the eyes, you can do just about any, you could do the typical square eyes. Wonder how that would look. These are kind of whimsical, so they don't have to be identical on the squares. Something like that. And of course, with pumpkins, just like when you're carving them for Halloween, you can do so many different things. You can do the teeth in here. any number of things. I kind of like the mouth that kind of goes like this. It can be a happy pumpkin, something like that. And to carve that, I'm going to use that 70 degree by 1/8. And for the nose, and follow that up with the knife. Like that. And you can see how easy these things are to carve. And your grandkids, or your son or daughter, would really like these, I'm sure. Just using that flat chisel. And back to this V-gouge. And just follow that smile that you've got here. And if you want to do those stitch marks, you can do that right now. Okay, let's do a bit kind of a cut against this where we've run that knife down just to give it some variation. And let's see, I think that, how do I want to do this? I don't want the stripe of the pumpkin or the crease to line up with that, so I think I'll do something like this. And get this V-gouge. So you can see in an afternoon, if you wanted to crank a bunch of these out, not a problem. They go real quick. And what I'm doing is just making that crease a little more slight, just so it's not so sharp. Okay, so you want to keep going like that. And I'm going to clean this up a little bit just by hitting the high spots. And then I'll show you what he looks like. But so far, that's the base. And I think I'm going to pencil in some creases here. Okay, so I did draw some little circles right here for the arms. And I did some creases. You can kind of see those in pencil. So I'm just going to follow those creases. And follow that up with the gouge. Okay. And what I want to do is just kind of even those out a little bit. just taking off some of the high spots. If it looks like it's going to start ripping, I just flip it over. Like that. Okay, I'm going to go back to that 1/8 V-gouge, and I'm just going to define this space. About like that. And same thing down here. A little bit of an undercut. About like that. And in this case, where the arms are going to go, I'm going to give him sort of like bigger arms, bigger holes for the arm. So to do that, of course, you can pretty much do whatever you would like to do here. But what I want to do is create that grapevine arm coming out of here, and I just don't want to stick it into the white sheet, so you're going to see some of the pumpkin coming through where the arms are. Go with a little bigger. Even that up a little bit. Maybe do a little undercut if I can in here. Okay, so that's going to be where the pumpkin is in there. That looks pretty good. Of course, it's going to be orange, and I'm going to drill a 1/8 inch hole right here for the arm to go in. So I'm going to do the same thing on the other side, sand them up, and put the arms in and show you what it looks like. Real easy project. Again, just rounding off some of these high spots. If it looks like it's going to splinter out, just flip it over. And I think once you get them done, you'll have something that'll hang around for a long time. That's the goal. make something that's nice enough to hang around for a long time. Doesn't end up in the garbage somewhere down the road. Okay, so let's do the hole over here. Same thing. And I'll put the grapevine arms in, sand them up a little bit, and show you what he looks like. Okay, so I've got them all sanded down a little bit, looking good. And I've just drilled these 1/8 inch holes on the side over here. And I've got his arms right here. And I've kind of drilled the hole so it looks like he's reaching out, like, you know, coming after him. There he is. Not bad. Looks like I might have to push that one in a little bit more. You don't even have to glue them. I did undercut under here a little bit more, but I think that'll look pretty good. Obviously orange here on the pumpkin. You could do yellow in the eyes. Go around with a real fine brush with a sort of like a flowing black acrylic paint and kind of fill in the mouth and the stitches. And yeah, so I think you've got it. The scary zombie pumpkin. Easy project. Okay, thanks folks. Till next time.